Hey there guys and girls, in this video I am going to talk about Krita and my first time using it. I did a review on Clip Studio Pro, the trial version, and that is pretty good. So I decided to give Krita a chance and see what I like about it. Remember guys and girls, I like it better when people watch my videos the whole way. Subscribe and likes help. However, I think average view duration matters more, so please do watch this the whole way. Now, just as a heads up, I did make this paper thunder sword drawing here before I used Krita, and I tried to make an electronic / digital version of this on Krita. I thought, hey, let's install Krita and give it a try. So yes. Best thing about Krita, it's free. Yep, unlike Clip Studio Paint, which I did a review on a few weeks ago, Krita is free. Whereas Clip Studio, you must pay £170 for perpetual license or wait for a price drop. Okay, back to Krita. Surprisingly enough, I noticed, hang on a minute, there's a paid version of Krita on other platforms like Steam, as I use Steam for myself to buy PC games quite often. I found this option to be quite surprising. I did check the Steam version of Krita to see what it's about, and obviously I went with the free version, but basically it's giving tip to the makers of Krita. You do not get anything extra with the Steam version unless someone can correct me in the comment section. However, it does say on the official website Krita is compatible with Windows 8.1 onwards. So, if any of you viewers are still using Windows 7 currently, sadly you must upgrade to a recent version of Windows or you cannot use Krita. Besides, a lot of people have been saying Windows 7 is unsafe to use because Windows 7 is easy to hack into nowadays. So, why use Windows 7 nowadays anyway? And for your information, I am using Windows 10. Also, it does say on the Krita website, 16 GB of RAM is recommended. When I run the program, it uses 374 megabytes of RAM, which is nowhere near 1 gigabyte. So not sure why it said on the website we need 16 gigabytes of RAM, judging this is not using game physics or anything that is demanding. I have used Adobe Flash and Clip Studio, and both of those use less than 16 GB, even when I use the playback on Flash. But there you go. Okay, good things about Krita. Krita does support 2D animation like Clip Studio or Flash, because I saw the timeline at the bottom, but because I wanted to make a simple 2D sword, there is not a lot I can animate with the sword on its own. So I decided to animate a very simple arrow and made a few keyframes. Fun fact, there's onion skin in this program, so very good design there for Krita. Furthermore, Krita allows motion tweens, but it is slightly complicated, but once you perform motion tween once, it's easier after that. What you do is make a simple drawing like this arrow. I know, this arrow is really scruffy, I made a way better one here in Flash afterwards. But anyway, you click on this small arrow here, select transform mask, then you go into animation curve, next you click on this icon here to select add keyframe. Then you select the frame you want, move the object, which in this case is my rough arrow, and boom! Motion tween complete. Well done Krita makers, you made motion tween quite easy. Before I used motion tween, I animated the Krita arrow frame by frame, total of 6 frames, which is a quarter of a second. But I thought there has got to be a way to have motion tween in Krita. This is gonna take all day otherwise, but like I said earlier, I figured it out, so yay. Right, at the very top of the screen it constantly tells me the file size, which is in megabytes. This is only helpful if anyone does not have a lot of gigabytes on the devices, but for me, it doesn't help that much, but it could for you. Unlike Clip Studio, the loading startup of Krita is surprisingly quick. With Clip Studio it takes at least 15 seconds and I am using a 16-core AMD processor and a 2TB SSD, so no idea why Clip Studio takes ages to load in comparison. But yeah, that's a plus. I can customize the workspace on the right hand side quite easily by going into Docker settings and toggle on and off the different boxes. Guess what? It lets me have an overview just like Clip Studio. Some people did not know this, but you can add audio in Krita animation side. I did not include any because I wanted to make a Flash version of the Thunder Sword and Arrow which is more detailed. So yeah, because the thing with me is that I've used Flash for over 7 years, so that's why I tend to talk about Flash a lot. So yeah, okay. Like any art program, it's obvious there's going to be a few problems, right? My biggest complaint about this free program is coloring in, just like Clip Studio, but this time in Krita it's not as hard. Vector layer does not allow coloring, but if I selected paint layer instead at the beginning I would have been able to color almost no problem. But the only way to move paint layers is by using the move tool on the left hand side, and no, the arrow icon on the top left does not work for paint layers. Quite a bad design there, because I made this and I cannot change that to a paint layer, so I had to start again. Unless someone tells me in the comment section, but yeah. Hence why I had to restart on the shapes on the right. However, at least it did not take me an hour to figure out how to colour in, unlike Clip Studio Pro, the trial version. I still think Flash does layers better because in Adobe Flash I can easily make one simple layer and I can drag objects around all I feel like, plus I can colour in the stroke lines without needing a second layer to do that, unlike Clip Studio. Furthermore, another problem about paint layers, and this is quite big, I must have shapes all on different layers, then merge them once I am done with the shapes. In Flash I can make as many shapes as I feel like on one layer without needing to merge anything. In Krita I ended up with a lot of layers quickly, and what is worse is when I do merge the layers, guess what? It does not let me use the eraser tool or edit the merged shapes. Like damn, that is two big problems with Krita. Not looking great for a free program, is it? But you know. Moving stroke lines is another complaint. Sometimes even when I zoom in a lot, the objects move left or right too much. It was hard trying to move like one stroke line in between where I wanted it to be. One neutral aspect of Krita is shortcuts are sometimes different to other 2D animation software. On the timeline, it's left and right arrow keys, which is good design, whereas in Flash, it's comma or full stop to move left or right on the timeline, but I am mostly used to doing it the Flash way. Because in Flash, if I use the arrow keys, I accidentally move an image left or right, so even I get mixed up despite I've used Flash for years. Verdict! It's an alright program, but I would only use it for simple art and simple animations. I have already made this in Flash before, and I am pretty sure I would not be able to replicate the same quality in Krita. Heck, I did a review on Clip Studio Pro, the trial version, and I made this, despite it took me ages to learn how to colour this in. Thing is, no 2D art program should be frustrating to make simple circles or simple colouring. It shouldn't be like that, that's all. If you cannot afford to spend hundreds of pounds on software, Krita is totally free, so there is that. Try this out for 2D drawings, but I would suggest you do not make anything too detailed in Krita. To me, I think Krita is a mid-tier art or animation program. I did some animation testing, but I did not bother with layers much with the arrow, because there's different types of layers, and I really think the Krita developers should have designed the layers better, like warn people what types of layers allow colouring and what layer doesn't. I still think Microsoft Paint beats Krita on the 2D side of things, and I used Microsoft Paint to crop a few screenshots for editing not too long ago. Microsoft Paint gets 7 out of 10 because it's so easy to erase something and I never have to worry about what types of layers I have to use in Microsoft Paint. Meanwhile, Krita gets 5 or 6 out of 10. So apologies Krita fans, but sometimes paid art programs are a better option, or Microsoft Paint, which comes with Windows. At least Krita is free and the animation tools are quite good. And Krita lets me control the workspace like Flash and it loads quick, but the downsides hurt the score to a high degree. See this See this paper drawing from earlier on? This physical drawing was easier to make compared to using Krita, even though it's not colored in. So if you do not like Krita for any reason, which in my opinion it has a few more problems than Clip Studio does, and Microsoft Paint is better and comes pre-installed in any version of Windows, you really are only missing out on something simple. What I think you should do is use Krita for a short time, then upgrade to a more powerful art program which has more features free art programs will not have. Sadly, because I already own Adobe Flash, I am going to uninstall Krita. Despite the animation tools in Krita, it's much better designed than the art side of things in Krita. I might investigate OpenToonz or Pencil 2D next, or I might try out something else. Time will tell.